Here we are. Welcome everyone. It's eclipse week. This week is serving up a wild mix of shaking things up. Eclipses are doors that you walk through, you turn around, and there's a wall. There's no going back. Things can happen during eclipse season that bring confusion if it's a sudden unexpected change that you weren't planning for, but ultimately they can bring you clarity on where you're moving toward on your path forward. This week there's also a chance for you to make some serious commitments for your future. Unexpected shifts are inevitable. So when you come up on a bit of tension, your best bet will be to know when to speak and being mindful of when it's best to just kind of let stuff go. Hey Astro Babes, this is Ashley of More Than Your Sun Astrology, and welcome to As Above, So Below, your weekly horoscope for September 30th through October 6th. If you're ready to sync your life with the stars, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and I'll show you how. Early in the week, Mercury and the Sun meet up, bringing you little golden nuggets of insight. Hold on to whatever comes up early in the week because it's going to be something that you'll have to work with as the week moves on. Mercury is your thoughts, how we communicate, how others communicate with you, and think of the sun as you. It's your physical body, the sun is the self. So someone may say something to you that opens you up to a new perspective, or you might just be sitting thinking to yourself and all of a sudden you have this epiphany of how you want to move forward with a certain situation. So if you've been struggling with having a conversation, like you know there's something that needs to be said, but you haven't been able to find the words, early in the week, you'll be able to have that conversation and say what you want to say. And speak your truth with confidence because people will actually be listening to you. So make sure you choose your words carefully. Right smack dab in the middle of the week, we've got a solar eclipse in the sign of Libra. This is a big one. Now, you may already know what your eclipse story is. Eclipses start new things and they can also bring things to an end for the purpose of clearing space for something new to enter. We see huge changes in our life stemming from eclipses that can come in up to 6 weeks before the actual date and energy that can last up to 6 months after. So think about what's changed in your life recently over the past month or so to now. Have you started a new job? Have you ended a job? Have you decided to get married? Decided to have a baby? What relationships, because this eclipse is in the sign of Libra, who governs the topics of relationships. So what relationships have you started? What relationships have ended for you? And not just romantically, business relationships, community partnerships, friendships. What deep realizations have you uncovered about yourself? Because the relationship to self is one of the most important that we rarely talk about and touch on, unless it's Aries season. That always comes up during Aries season. But the relationship to self is very, very important, especially during a Libra lunation, such as an eclipse. So what deep realizations have you uncovered about yourself and the way that you do relationships? Sometimes things don't happen to us externally with eclipses. Many times they do, where you can actually see the eclipse story unfold. But there's also some people who have things to confront internally that this eclipse is bringing up within you. Eclipses are known for shaking things up. There's no way around it. So don't be surprised if you're suddenly rethinking everything. This is a time to really get real about the people in your life. Who's in, who's out. You've got some big decisions to make. And if you've been dragging your feet on making a tough decision, this eclipse is going to help you recalibrate your priorities and your relationships. I strongly encourage you to do some journaling, like really take a moment around Wednesday. That's the actual date of the eclipse. So I encourage you to take some time to sit with yourself, sit with your thoughts, think about your life and think about the path you're on, where you've been, where you are now, and where you're trying to go. And this may not be the actual date for making decisions about thinking about what needs to be done, you know, the work that's being asked of you, but it is going to help you better prepare and enable you to make those necessary changes to actually move forward. As we move further into the week, on Friday, Venus trines Saturn, bringing a sort of grounding energy to all the chaos that's been coming up recently. Venus speaks to topics of relationships. Saturn is all about getting serious, making commitments. Saturn can also be sadness and a bit depressive. It can be like just this heaviness. So I just feel like this further implies that there will be some tough decisions that you're going to have to come to. But the good thing about this trine between Venus and Saturn is that it's encouraging and it's uplifting. Saturn is like the hard work that you probably don't really want to do, but after you do it, Saturn brings rewards. And Venus speaks to harmony and compromise and aligning ourselves with our values, the values that we speak and preach of versus the values that we actually take time to apply and live by. So Venus trine Saturn is a wonderful time to lay the foundation for lasting relationships and think about how you want to move forward versus just kind of like going with the flow as things are moving. Or it can also be good for finally having that where is this going conversation. Like, what exactly are we doing here? What are we trying to do? What is the end game? Venus also speaks to money and finances, so this can be about making commitments for your financial future. Maybe at some point you want to buy a house, but your credit's not the best. This could be a wonderful opportunity for you to pull your credit report and get serious, Saturn, about paying down debt, making a solid, actionable step toward a future goal that creates more structure and security for you in the long haul. Now there's some nice, somewhat challenging, but ultimately positive for the future energy to work with this week. But I'm warning you right now, this weekend's gonna throw you a curveball. Mercury will have a very challenging, tense conversation with Mars. And let's just say things could get testy. Mercury is communication, conversations, the words we choose to speak. And Mars can be very hot-headed, impulsive, very passionate, but irritable, combative, aggressive. Mars rules Aries, just so you know. And so this can be very low vibe Aries energy. So tempers will flare and communication with people can just feel frustrating. Like, are we debating now? How do we end up here? I thought we were just having a conversation. Do your best to avoid petty arguments and try to stay mindful of what you say. You can't control what other people do. You can't control what other people say. The only thing you can control is your response and your reaction. And I'm preparing you right now. The overall vibe of this weekend shows themes of fighting with words. So know your triggers. When someone gets you all revved up and you just want to lash out, instead of doing that, what are tools you can reach for to calm yourself down? Take a step back. Ask yourself, like, is this really worth it? Am I really gonna allow this person to have all this control over me to make me respond this way? Maybe it is. Maybe this is the time where you've been holding your tongue and now you finally just are impulse to let them have it. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's not actually worth it. Maybe it's not worth saying something that you will probably regret later. So just to rehash and wrap up the energy, this week is about embracing the eclipse as an opportunity for change. Change is inevitable and it's happening. Resisting it just makes it more difficult. So instead, maybe just try to go with the flow and make new adjustments. Things are changing and you're gonna have to figure out how to navigate your way forward. It's time to let go of the past. We can trust Venus and Saturn this week to help bring some grounding to us during this crazy time and bring a little bit of stability to your relationships. And sometimes the stability and the clarity we need is releasing an attachment to something or someone that's a burden or that's holding us back. And then when you let that weight go and drop it, it's freeing. Last but not least, when tension hits, because it's going to, I guarantee it. When something frustrates the crap out of you, can you pause, breathe, and avoid letting small issues escalate into full-blown drama? Well, that's it for this week. Let me know if you found this helpful and how you're seeing things show up for you. Don't leave without hitting that subscribe button right now so that you never miss out on what you need to know to stay in sync with the stars. Remember, you can go to my website, mtysastrology.com, to book a personal reading and grab a free copy of my ebook, Everyday Guide to Parenting Children by Their Moon Signs. Thanks for watching. See you next time.